Review Board call the meeting to order Tuesday, September 21st at 6:03 p.m. We are a Zoom meeting due to the COVID regulations. And at this time, Roche wanted to speak about the election of the chairperson.
So Pat, I finally found it, taking a look at everything. And it said basically in the bylaws, in the event the office of the chairperson becoming vacant, the vice chairperson shall succeed in this office for the unexpired term of the chairperson.
Oh, okay.
So I think that we're okay for you to do as acting chair, and then we'll take up things at the end of the meeting then. But I just found it.
Okay, that simplifies. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we have a new board member, Miss Susan Sloan. Just real quick before we do the minutes, can everyone on the board just kind of introduce themselves?
So Susan and I are next door neighbors, so she's very familiar with me.
Okay, good.
I know Pat.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Nick Kipper. I live on North 3rd.
Okay, hi Nick. Hi Josh.
It never worked. I mean, you can't get on the video.
Suzanne?
I'm Suzanne Hayden, live on East Stephen Foster.
Okay, hi Suzanne.
Hi.
Welcome to the board, Susan.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay. So just for a second before we begin, Suzanne and I are the members that are able to attend the committee meeting of the committee with the state consultant. Roche is also there, plus the mayor, 2 city council people, and Jan Johnston with planning and zoning. One of the things several things will be changing, but not tonight. The one thing that was discussed was that we do not have to belabor issues that we know are very obvious, like paint colors and roof, if no one has an exception to that. So as I did once before, when I was chairing a meeting, there are about a half dozen items that we can move through rather rapidly if any of the other board people have no discussions with them. With that, let us begin. Our first item is COA 20-172. This is the First Presbyterian Church. Do we have our person here representing the church?
We do not, Pat, and they told me they weren't going to be able to attend the Zoom meeting, but because it's a tree, I was hoping we could go ahead and take this up.
Okay.
With the tree that was removed was pretty close to the house, and their email wasn't necessarily working, so I spoke to Miss Albajine Burba on the phone, who was the one that made the application, and she stated that they want to put a decorative tree back, probably a red bud or something to that effect, and not exactly as close to the house, but they want to put it, within kind of the realm of where the other tree was, but not too close to the house. So they wanted to replace it with a smaller decorative tree.
Okay, that sounds fine with me. If anyone has any questions now, or we can entertain a motion.
And I would think that the motion would be that I'm trying to think that final staff approval will be granted for the tree and the location.
Yes, in case they want to change it.
Yeah.
Suzanne?
I'll make the motion to recommend approval of COA 21-172 with the following conditions: that the tree type and placement location will be staff approved.
All in favor?
I'll second the motion in case there was.
Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah. Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so COA 21-172 is accepted. Let us now look at COA 21-174. And this is St. Vincent de Paul is requesting fencing that will, at the back of the property, to the north side, that will enclose 2 dumpsters there.
I want to make sure that you know that that is in our parking lot.
No, that's not, I hadn't understood that from the sketch.
Okay.
Okay, let me look at that sketch again. So this is to go across the street
Yes.
in the parking lot. Do I have discussion from other board members?
What's the fence gonna look like?
Please?
What's the fence going to look like?
It's going to be 6 foot tall wood, not dog-eared at the top,
Smooth.
So just a flat top.
just a flat top.
Okay, and the only other thing, Ms. Hovind, that I was worried about, the trucks will be able to access the dumpster with this design, correct? The city dump trucks?
Yes, they will. We found out that they will need a 10-foot wide opening, and we have provided for that. We have also moved our trucks so that they are not across the dumpsters, so that the city trucks will have an easy time to pull in and back up.
Okay. In the sketch on page 6, I see the gates in front of the main dumpster. Is the cardboard recycling also going to have gates? Or is that going to be open?
That's going to be open.
Okay,
Okay.
yes. Does
But
anyone?
we are responsible for emptying out the cardboard dumpster. The city does not do that.
Okay, so you take
Okay.
it out to the ghost center?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay. So with that clarification, does anyone else have any questions for her, for Chris?
No.
Okay. I would entertain a motion on this.
I would make a motion. I would make a motion to recommend approval of 21-174. The fence is consistent with the fence standards set forth in the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Second.
This motion has been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion has been approved. We may move now to the next item on our agenda. COA 21-173 has been withdrawn. So we can now look at COA 21-157 amended. Is David Hayden here yet? David? No. Okay, so let's skip the 2 with him. And we'll have to come back to those. All right, next on my list, so that would be COA 21-192, Allison and Frank Spears. And I believe I saw Allison just a minute ago. Ms. Spears?
I'm here. Hi.
Okay, and COA 21-192, the applicants are requesting to replace windows that are Jalos windows with 6/1 windows that match the front of the house. May I have discussion on this? One thing I'm wondering, Rashay, I drove by and studied this, and I think you have good pictures also of this. And are we contained with the 50-year requirement to consider, depending on the age of the windows, or is this a case where we can put the sliding windows in that we
Well,
typically?
if the windows are inappropriate, that we can go back with something that's more appropriate for the home.
Okay, Yes. So, Ms. Spears, why don't you tell us about the windows and your desire to replace them?
Well, the windows were, my mom and dad added, did an addition a long time ago. And the windows are the old windows that roll out and they're rotten. And we've got to replace them no matter what. But I would like to replace them with windows that are more in keeping with the design of the house, the original house. And I supplied pictures of the windows that we want to copy that are on the front porch. And there's 6 panes over 1. And that's what we want to copy all along the back of the house.
Yes. And that's on page 13, if anyone wanted to look at that again.
And that's just on the porch, Miss Spears. Is that correct?
On the porch?
Yeah,
Yes.
the 6 over 1.
Well, I mean, the 6 over 1 are at various parts around the original house. We want to replace all of the windows on the back addition that was poorly done with these windows, which are more in keeping with the architecture of the house.
And will those be going on just the portion that looks like a sunroom, or will they also be going to the left on the
They'll
other?
be going to the left too. That's the addition that was, I mean, it's all addition that was done by my mom and dad, but it's just not in keeping with the architecture of the original house.
Right. Okay. So that's page 9 shows the whole expanse quite nicely. That has the notes on it and their additional sketches there. Do I have more discussion on this?
Yes, Miss Spears, how old are those windows that are not on the sunroom?
Well, I mean, they were done with the addition whenever it was done. I mean, I was a little girl, so.
Like maybe the 60s or 70s. To address what Rashay had said earlier, if the windows are not really appropriate looking for that section of the home, then that is something we could go to a 6 over 1 replacement.
Yes, and I supplied several pictures actually of the 6 over 1 windows that
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those
that we want to copy. For instance, the picture that is of the 3 continuous windows that are 6 over 1, in the back room, which looks like a sunroom, there would be 4 windows, 6 over 1.
Okay.
A bank of windows that would copy the original part of the house.
Okay. I see that on the architectural drawing on page 16.
Yes.
Okay.
So the windows that would have to go back with this, are they going to be true divided, or are they going to be, what are they going to be, Miss Spears?
Well, I think that, I thought that you told me that there were windows that you all recommended that are true divided and they would be wooden. We would just copy the windows that are in the front.
Okay.
Yes, there are. So, board members, can we entertain a motion to clarify this?
To clarify it.
No, just to make a motion.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to recommend approval of 192. Because they are consistent with the window and with the other window and porch steps and stairs set forth in section 4.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is passed. And those windows, as we know, a condition of that is that they be the true divided lights that are can be explained in detail for you with Richette.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
very good.
Now,
Okay,
I do have two other things that I would like to present, and I think Rashay has that as well.
okay, we're getting ready to look at the roof line.
Yes.
Okay, so if we close that, we can look at COA 21-193, and this is the request to replace the roof line on the screened-in porch to match the addition. Again, it's the picture we were just looking at previously. It's page 10 is a good look. Let's see. Yeah. And if you've studied that, you've seen what they're requesting. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Spears on how that's going to work? So is someone wanting to make a motion here? Okay, then it sounds like we need to discuss it more. If you look on the drawing that she has given us, page 9 is, you can see the two roofs towards the bottom of our page. You can see the lower roof. And Ms. Spears, what I'm thinking is that you mean for where the 4 windows will be replaced, the Jaloist windows, that roof will go straight across so that the other roof is raised up to that level?
Yes, it will. That's what we hope to do. That screen porch, because there are 2 different levels of roof, it's always been a maintenance issue with water, and we want to do a continuous, which is what is there, metal roof, so that it would all just be a seamless look. And I have a picture of the side of the house, again, with the original part of the house and then the screen porch, and all of that would be matched. You will see the wood that is above the stucco on the side, the picture of the side of the house and the screen porch.
Yeah.
And it would all just, it would be seamless.
Yeah. So it, be a much smoother presentation that way.
And as I said, it's always been a water issue with the flashing, and we've had several leaks inside of the house because of that.
Okay. Do I have a board member that will address this for us now?
I make a motion to recommend approval of 21-193 with the following conditions: that the roof is consistent with what is already there and the standards set forth in the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Okay.
Okay.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Blackman.
Okay. So it has been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nick, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, very good.
I'm just being quiet.
Okay. Okay. So the next item is COA 21-194 on the Spears home, where they request to install a new window in an area that has not been previously held a window.
And so, guys, the issue with this one is W15, which it states, do not alter the number, size, location, or shape of original windows seen from a public way by making new window openings or permanently blocking existing openings. So unfortunately, Ms. Spears, I think that goes directly against W15.
Oh, okay, okay. We were hoping because it was on this edition that we could, again, match a window and put it above a window that's downstairs, and it would all match, and it would enable us to add a bathroom in this very, very large bedroom that's in the addition. But you're saying it goes against the rules?
Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Okay.
Is it is seen from the public way?
Yes,
me?
it is.
It says it's seen from the public way. I was trying to see where it was.
No, it's on the side of the house in the back.
On the south side or the east?
South side. I have a picture
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah.
Roche, I don't know if I gave you that
Yes.
side, a picture.
Sketch. Yeah.
And if you look at the whole side of the house, I'm really kind of not sure why they didn't put a window there originally when they did the addition, because it's rather plain. And we'd like to, anyway, as I said, we just want to match the smaller window that's below it, and it would just be above that. And there's that smaller window that's in the addition. There's a bathroom down below, and by putting the window upstairs, as I said, we could add a bathroom.
So let me ask you directly, can you see the new proposed window from the street?
No.
Well, then,
The Hearst, Tommy and Sheila Hearst house
yes.
is next door on that side,
So
and you can't see it from the street.
So
on page 12, I just want to make sure I'm looking at this right. There is the lower picture, add new window. Are you talking about adding it where that blank space is in your wall there? There's 3 below and 2 above, and you want to add one up there?
Yes, yes. Well, I mean, I just supplied Roche a bunch of pictures, so I don't know what you're looking at exactly.
So let me just, I'm gonna stop this, but it does appear from the language that if you cannot see it from a public way, i.e. the street, then you can add a window. You
can't see it from the street. I mean, the Hearst house is right next door.
So that,
and it's in the back of the house on the south side.
So now I'm asking the board.
Yeah, and is a public way is also alleyways, so you can't see it from an alleyway either, Miss Spears. Is that what you're saying?
Right. The alleyway is on the other side of the house, totally. Again, the Hearst house is next door. So the only people who could see it are Sheila and Tommy Hearst.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to see it from the back and the front, and you can't see that side of the wall. Another thing, Roche, is that since this is on the addition versus the original house, but basically because it's not seen from a public way, I think we're pretty good.
It is on the addition. This is on the addition.
And I think that helps some, that we're not cutting into a 100-year-old home.
Okay.
To add a window.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it either.
Okay, may I have a motion?
I move to approve COA 21-194 based on the following conditions. The window is consistent with the existing windows in the house and cannot be seen from the public right of way, and further is not part of the original structure.
Okay,
I'll second the
I'll
motion.
second that.
thank you. We have a motion and a second. You can pick Susan or Suzanne, whichever you Shay,
And then-
write your minutes.
Take your pick.
And then all in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor,
Aye.
opposed. So motion 21-194 has passed. So let us now move. Oh, and Ms. Spears, you have to wait until next Tuesday when the city council meets and blesses all this, and then you can proceed.
I'm sorry that for some reason you cut out there, so I
I'm sorry.
didn't hear your instructions.
We cannot give you the power to start. You have to wait until the city council then says, yes, we will accept this.
Oh, okay.
And that will be next week.
All right. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I guess I can sign out, right?
Yes, yes, you're
All
good.
right. Thanks again.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good night. Okay, next,
Mr. David Hayden is on here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
yes,
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble, so I'll come back to my office on my office computer. My home computer was not cooperating.
oh. Okay, so that means we're, go back and pick up COA 21-157 amended.
That is correct.
Okay, let me get there.
Is that the window, the Bevello, is it the
That's
adding
the stone columns in the gate.
the stone columns in the gate? Yes, I got approval to do stone columns at the last meeting, and they were 32 inch by 62. I'd like to amend that to 48 by 48 by about 68 inches tall.
68.
68 tall. 62 is what I got approved for last time.
Yeah. So
Inches.
5 feet 8 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
How does that compare to the two that'll be on the parking lot of St. Joseph's?
Those are 32 by 32 by 62.
So why would these be taller than 62?
To be in proportion to the building behind it and the width of the distance, we widen the sidewalk out. I'm getting these drawn up. I'll have the drawings by next week showing the right proportion by a landscape architect. And we are thinking we're gonna be larger than the 32 inch to be in the right proportion.
Just one man's opinion. I'm thinking we should wait until we can see the actual architectural drawings. And everybody else might feel better about this. I have difficulties with perception sometimes, and to me, it just sounds gigantic.
Well, it's 6 inches taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have some feedback from some other board members, please?
Or
Well,
if you say make it 62, I can go back to 62.
I think it would be better to see the actual drawing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you will accept all the 32 by 32 by 62.
Mhm. As previously approved.
Okay.
What I have questions with, if we look on page 16, you have a sketch of a gate.
Okay.
And
Oh, yes. And I'd like to add a gate, a wooden gate with an arch on it.
and I don't see how, well, this is a discussion. Personally, I don't see how we can approve that at all. One of the things we've discussed in talking about Spalding Hall was widening the sidewalk, cutting up the tree, limbing up the trees, removing 2 trees up close to the building, and all of that was to expand the vision, to open up the look of Spalding Hall. And when I see this sketch, it very much closes it off and becomes quite intimidating in my mind.
Yeah. Since I got approval at the last meeting, I widened out the sidewalk about 4 feet total, 2 feet on each side. So that's why we're trying to maybe change the scope of the size, perception of the columns. And the gate is just the cosmetics. It's going to be always open, never closed, just for cosmetics. It's
Well,
how the original gate kind of looked, similar gate. It had a wooden gate on it.
Well, that was one time period, but that wasn't the majority of the time period of the building. I think that's something we can let fall into history.
Well, and go ahead, Suzanne.
No, I'm trying to find the rule that you are discussing actually, about, the gate.
Well, there was clarification. David, I emailed the state, the CLG coordinator at the state about this because it wasn't necessarily specific to what we can and can't approve, but the design of the gate with the wings, the very large wings that are on it. And the state came back and they kind of were, they were a little concerned about those wings. And so I'm a little concerned about having that kind of large gate there whenever, it necessarily didn't look like that before.
Well, it had a gate there. You got pictures of it, actual pictures of a gate with the big columns, right? I put those in the packet.
Are you saying that the picture we have on page 15 is of this building, not another building? It's not.
I'm not sure what picture you're looking at. It shows that this is from the early 1900s, a picture of Fifth Street, an actual photo with two big columns and a gate across the front.
Page 13, I believe.
It's
Historic columns and
13.
guardhouse.
Right.
Yeah. That was historic columns and guardhouse at Spalding Hall, page 13.
13.
I'm looking at the picture on page 15, I believe is what he's talking about. Not the sketch, the photo.
This is the photo on page 13.
Okay, let me go back.
And then, yes, and that matches page 14, the drawing, the painting.
The sketch, right.
The same ones.
Right.
And we talked about how that looks like a prison. And we've been talking about the open expanse of Spalding Hall and not even wanting a metal fence across the front. And I don't see how the page 13 meets any of those goals. Also, when Mr. Hayden first brought this to us, they also were talking about how you could look down Flagey and be open up to this view. And I'm just confused how these two things.
Now the gates would always never be closed. These would be open all the time. They don't have to go up. I just thought it would add some character to this project. The gates would be pinned back permanent where they would never close. They'd be going toward the building, open toward the building.
David, you said you're getting plans drawn up of this though right now. You don't have it exactly within this application though, correct?
No.
Okay. I think we might need to wait until we get those plans to make a decision.
What would you want to know? Are you going to not approve it with this gate on it, period, or?
Yes, and just exactly what that opening is going to look like. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So with that being said, do we have a motion to table this until the architectural drawings are presented?
I'll make the motion to table COA 21-157 amended until the next meeting.
Second
I
it.
have a second.
I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so 21-157 is tabled. COA 21-159 with we're requesting to install 6 light posts, and then I believe there was also a discussion of, let's see, this says install 6 gas lights to the property instead of 4 electric light posts.
Right. I was approved for 4 electric. I'd like to switch those to 6 gas lanterns. That would look,
And my only question is, when I look on page 7 where you have the diagram of the brick walkway, there are 8 locations. So I was kind of confused. They're not 6 squares.
I'm showing 8 lights.
I can't,
So that was the previous one, Pat. So that was the previous diagram where he had noted
okay.
the 3,
The
um,
historic,
the 4 that he had wanted. So can you tell us where the 6 will be located at, David?
Equally distanced from the front to the back, about
So 2 on each side, just not
3.
staggered, but
3 on each side,
3.
6.
Okay, 3 to a side. Okay. Any questions?
No?
I don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't either.
Then will someone make?
I'll move to approve 21-159 as amended with the following conditions: that the lamp posts are consistent with the lighting standards set forth in the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. You can begin work on that after the city council passes that on Tuesday, assuming they pass it on Tuesday.
Okay.
Very good. So now we're with Jamie Haslam and Patrick Whalen. So, Mr. Hayden, we'll see you next month with the architectural drawings then of the gate and entryway
Okay.
and the posts. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, what number is that?
I was looking to see if they were here yet. There are 3. It starts with 21-189.
Thank you.
Pat and Jamie, are you
Hello.
here?
Jamie.
Here.
Okay.
Pat's waving from across the table.
Okay, very good. So COA 189. They wish to install wooden vents on the east and west sides of the garage on their property. You will have seen a picture of those vents and also drawings of the location. Does anyone have questions, or might we entertain a motion for this?
I think as it was noted that they seemed appropriate, I would be happy to recommend approval, move to recommend approval of 189 based upon the following: that the vents are consistent with the architectural details and features standards set forth in section 4 of the review manual.
I'll second.
So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That COA has then passed. Let us now look at 21-190 to add a section of fence at a perpendicular to an existing fence that we passed a year or so ago. Do I have discussions on this? Oh, I just lost everything. No, if no one has questions or discussions, may I entertain a motion? I thought you'd want to look at that. We might all look at that drawing together, but the current fence is there. The last piece of the house stretches back to a garage. And so the current fence comes out from there, and it blocked off their mulching and their rain barrel. And they're just asking to put, you can see the proposed on page 7. It will be perpendicular and enclose that area a bit more.
Yes, so our neighbors cannot see the surface area, which mortified me when I realized we had done that for starters.
Any other questions of Ms. Haslam?
No.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion?
I'll move to recommend approval of COA 21-190 with the following conditions. The fence is consistent with fence standards set forth in section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second that motion.
The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So the motion has passed. Let us move to COA 21-191, where on this property, the same sketch we're looking at, they would like to add a berm, again, kind of separating their side yard and their screened-in porch from the neighbor's property. Do I have any, entertain any discussions on this? So may I have a motion?
I'll move to recommend approval of 191 with, because the landscaping is consistent with standards in section 4 of Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So Jamie, you'll just have to wait for city council to bless this on Tuesday, and then you can move forward with your plans.
Okay, now I had added an addendum, but I guess it didn't get in the paperwork. Is that correct? Planting bed
Oh,
in the
it's
front.
in there.
Wait a minute. Yes, and that was,
A planting bed in the front to extend our stone wall to the sidewalk.
yeah, that's kind of like that's easily done.
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And guys, this is just a good example of those 3 things. When we learn how to do the steps that our committee is learning, we'll learn how to put all 3 of those together and make it go just a bit faster. But we're not ready to do that yet, but we're close.
Thank
Okay.
you all.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
So now we are ready with COA 21-189. Nick Kipper, the next 3 are all landscapings that you're in charge of. So you now become a presenter instead of a board member.
Okay. And which one are we on?
185.
185 is the halls at 209 West Flagey.
Okay. So they removed some trees in the backyard that need to be replaced, and we're just coming back with the replacements we'd like to do and the arrangement of those. Basically what they're wanting to do is they had 6 large evergreens along the back alley to block the parking lots across the street, which would be medical pharmacy, Sparks Law Office, and the barber shop. And then do some planting around that. We're doing down on the left end next to the alley, we're doing some smaller shrubs that will also provide some screening, though not as thorough, but they're just to protect the line of sight in the alleyway, and then some color going along with that, and then a red maple tree out in the yard for shade.
Okay. Does anybody have a question for that? The plan is on 186. And the halls just got their fence up recently that we approved, and that looks very, very sharp. So the landscaping will be a positive accent.
I don't have, this is Suzanne, I don't have any questions for Nick, but I mean, when you look at what we are looking at, retain the historic landscape features, it says the requirements are met, and then it says it shall be size, scale, and placement. The landscaping appears to be appropriate. So absent somebody thinking it's inappropriate, maybe.
You can go right ahead and make a motion.
It would seem so.
Wait a minute. Now,
Don't get in there.
how do I leave the room? Do I run out of here? Do I turn my microphone off or what?
Just be quiet.
I would say stop video and audio, I guess, real quick. I'm not sure about that one. Okay.
Okay, Suzanne, you're on.
I move to approve 21-185 based upon the fact that the landscaping is consistent with the landscaping standards set forth in section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Second.
I have moved and seconded this motion. All in favor? So 185, we can go on from there. And COA 21-186 is next. Again, Nick Capper is the landscape architect for Sam Lacey and Nick Mathis at 111 South 3rd.
Yeah, and they were planning to attend, but I don't see them on here yet.
They messaged me and asked if you could handle it, Nick.
Okay, very good.
And I said that you could.
Okay.
And actually, Nick, is there anything questionable on this that we need to be aware of and discuss? It looks like a very beautiful landscape plan to me.
Not really. The only thing that anybody might have any issues with would be there's a holly tree in the front currently that we're going to take out. It's too close to what needs to be done, and it has some real issues. I'm trying to find the page it's on.
Page.
Okay, it's 17 of 18. That the proposed landscaping is not going out quite that far, but we've got a sizable plant on the corner of that house that that'll be way too close to, and then that tree has got problems anyway.
Okay.
But the rest of it, I mean, everything, we want to preserve the view of the home, kind of accentuate the bay windows. We're going to lift the canopies a little bit on the existing trees, and just to get a better view of the house. And the only comments I would have, or requests I would have if this is approved, that as of now, they have not come with their fencing plan. They're going to plan to do a privacy fence in the back and plan to do a driveway and some hardscape back there. And if there's any changes that need to be made to the landscape plan that result from ever how that shakes out, then we can get staff approval on proceeding with those.
That sounds reasonable. May I entertain a motion?
I'm sorry, Nick, which tree is going to come out?
The holly tree, that's an American holly.
Okay, the holly in front. Okay.
Yeah, it's on page 17, 18. It's up, if you're facing the house, it's in the right-hand corner.
Right. Okay. That's the tree I thought it was, but I wanted to double check. Thank you.
Any other questions from me before I clock out?
No.
Not I. Okay. So may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of COA 21-186 with the following conditions: that any future modifications to the plan are staff approved.
I'll second that.
So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So the motion passes. We may now look at COA 21-187. And this is a very simple replacement of a tree. Nick, you
Yeah.
can go back. There he is.
The recently, that we had a bad storm and there were a lot of trees in town went down. This is a Bradford pear behind in the back parking lot. And I don't know that we really had to, needed approval on this because the tree is in a pretty precarious situation. And it is falling apart and about half of it fell off. And they want to go ahead and take that out and replace that with a natural weeping cherry. They don't want anything with quite that high profile again there in the parking lot where it's dropping stuff on cars. So we're looking at something that instead of being 30 or 40 feet, would probably ultimately be 20 to 25 and be a little more contained.
Mhm.
I mean, basically that's it. And the tree going in would be 1 3/4 caliber. It'd be substantial, you know, not huge, but it would be a substantial size.
Since they're both decorative landscape trees, Rashay, I believe that that's an appropriate substitution.
That is appropriate,
Okay.
in my
May I-
opinion.
Yeah. Okay. May I entertain a motion?
I make a motion to recommend approval of COA 21-187 with the following conditions: that the tree replacement is consistent with the landscaping standards set forth in Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we're free to go from there. You can come back, Nick. There you are. Okay, so I have COA 21-175 next on my list. And that is the Hawkins. Daryl, did you get back on with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So
Good.
that's great. Okay, and this is for the home you're working on, 110 Brashear.
That's
And
correct.
the request is to paint that rear portion that for some reason was left unpainted when the other 3 sides of the property were painted. But I understand that's been done quite a long time in the past, that the 3 sides have been painted.
Yeah, it's got a dog barking.
Yeah.
That was before my time. I'm really not sure what year it was painted. The only thing that I can assume the reason that it was painted may have been from moisture issues. They had some issues with the plaster on the inside, and it could be that they tried to seal the brick by painting it.
Okay. And when we look at the regulations on painting of historic buildings, it just rules it out completely that if it's not been painted before, it's not to be painted. Do I have discussion on this by other board members?
Somebody ought to have an opinion.
I would hope so.
Well, if I can't paint the whole thing, let me go to this. If I can't, and actually I don't want to paint the original part of the house.
Yes.
I just wanted to paint the screened in porch.
Yes.
Not the screened in porch, but the bricked in porch.
Oh, the relatively new section to the far right in the back.
Yes, ma'am. It's right on the side of the courtyard.
Did you ever figure out the age of that?
You know, it's done in concrete, not mortar. So no, I really don't know the age of it. I'm gonna guess and say it's 37 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Or 49 and a half.
I thought that was too obvious. That's why I said
Yeah.
37.
Yes, it's, I finally found a standard I was looking for. The painting standard number 1 says do not paint masonry, stucco, and it includes brick that's never been painted before. So that's what we're up against here.
Well, what about one little section over there where the laundry room? That's, you've got 2 different runs of brick. And I know that section there is probably less than 50 years, but then I can't verify that.
Yeah, because you can tell by looking at the brick, it's much, much newer brick.
Is that why you want to paint it?
Well, you know, the original problem with the house, and I'd kind of been working with the lady who owned it for a couple of years. The plaster was falling off the back corner of it. And we dug the dirt out around the foundation, thinking that that's probably the biggest part of it. The house has been re-tuck pointed about 4 different times. And it's got 4 different types of mortar joints on the back of it. And to be able to try to resell a house, I know it's in the historical district, but somebody's made a mess of that back courtyard over the last 10 to 15 years. And that's really why it needs to be painted. Rashay, you were supposed to go to the state. Did they just definitely say no?
Yeah, whenever I got the email and I'd forwarded that to the board, they basically said that if it hadn't been whitewashed before, and the board can weigh in on this, please, with that email, that they didn't think it should be painted.
Okay.
And is that the consensus, HRB, whenever you got that email?
That's how I read the email. Yeah. Suzanne, how about you?
I have to say, I didn't see the email. I'm looking madly. So I can't speak to this.
Well, again, as if we can trust Rashay to repeat what the state said in their email, Josh or Nick I don't know.
Yeah, I read it and I kind of got, I read it and I kind of got the same gist, but the area he's discussing is younger than newer than the rest of the house. And it's his reasoning for doing it is to kind of try to hide some of the problems with the way that was done as an addition or whatever, or some of the re-tuck pointing or something, but to try to hide some of the flaws. So I mean, I don't know if the state, if the email from the state really touched on that at all.
Is there a difference between stuccoing and painting?
Yes. Yes.
Is one approved over the other?
No. No, when it's plain brick, then it's supposed to stay plain brick versus stucco.
Does it matter the age?
I don't know that it would. A question I had for you, Daryl, is you were talking that if you haven't stood in front of this, it's hard to understand, but there's a long expanse that's unpainted, and the laundry room area that Daryl just mentioned is off to the far right. Even if that were painted, it still wouldn't cover the multitude of errors on the rest of the brick, would it, Daryl?
Well, the porch underneath it is painted, had been painted, and it would kind of blend in with the back porch as you're standing and looking at it. Primarily, the best thing for the house is to finish painting it. But if I can get by with just painting that laundry room, I would accept that.
Well, as with our words from the state, I don't think, and with the standards printed in our handbook, I do not see that we would have the authority to approve any painting for this.
Well, can we guess, and Nick help me, do you think that the laundry room section is less than 50 years old?
I have no idea.
Well, I know, but you can tell by the difference in the way the brick was laid that it's a lot earlier than it was where the porch was put in.
Right.
I mean, it would be a different story if it was all one done at the same time. But you could tell that it had been added on to it, and I think, in my opinion, it was less than 50 years.
Well,
I don't know if that still applies to the painting of the bricks, though. But
and yeah, I don't think it would make a difference on the
okay,
age because it sits in the historic district.
Whoa,
go ahead.
no, I'm just trying to figure that out. So anything that is now in the historic district, even if it were built a year ago, can't be painted?
I don't think that's true.
No, I'm going to paint. I have proposed to paint the original two sides of the house. We are going to paint.
I get that. I was asking Pat based on what you just said, because I don't think that's.
No, I misspoke.
Well, would it be
But
helpful?
I've seen the laundry room, and it's not 37 years old. It's been there quite a while. So in this particular application, as much as I'd love to see the house all painted white, it's not within our purview to do so, to my opinion, unless someone else can find.
Well, I mean, I haven't been around this as long as you have, Pat, and looked as many of these things, but my understanding is that 50 years is the magic number. And so if this is an addition that is not 50 years old, maybe 49 years old, but it's not as old as the rest of the house, do these same rules apply to that?
Not if it was.
That's a question. That's
yeah.
Not
if it was being constructed to this day, I know there are differences, but if it's already constructed, I don't remember reading anything that says that.
You know, we could kick this over to next time while we do a little research, and while our happy homeowner, gives us some proof or a little more evidence of how old it is. And in the meantime, we look up other rules. I don't know.
What about the rule you can't see it from the road?
Nix that one.
Too bad. I wish we could use that one. So I'm hearing a request to table this COA and discuss it again in October. Daryl, would you be comfortable with that?
Well, I'll do what I can to research it, but I can't. I don't know any records or anybody that would be willing to be able to help me about the age of. Unless Kitty, the lady I bought it from, maybe I can get some information from her to find out when that addition was put on. Let me check with her, and maybe that would be one way of solving this. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that would be wonderful if she might have just a memory, or if she even had a picture or something. That would be great.
And
okay, I'll look into it.
And maybe a picture that shows the rather apparent differences in the brick, I think might help too. Because when you're standing behind it, you can definitely see that's not the same. That's not the same brick.
Right. So do I have a motion to table from someone?
I move to table motion 21-175 to next month.
I second that motion.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to table 21-175. Daryl is still with us on the next 1, 2, 3, 4 COAs. So let us now look at 21-176. And this is to install the wood siding on the garage on the property. Does anybody have discussion on 176?
Daryl, what size is the wood siding you want to put on there?
It's gonna be 4-inch.
4 inches, okay.
It's the same with the dormers and the existing part of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, that would look good. It really seems, you know, a pretty easy fix. Can I entertain a motion from anyone?
This is one of the ones I had blurred out on my iPad, so I can't see it.
Please.
I can't see this on my iPad right now.
Oh, on 176.
I make the motion to recommend approval of COA 21-176 with the following conditions: that the siding is consistent with the siding standards set forth in section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second that motion.
So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So COA 21-176 is passed by us. Let us now look at 21-177, the request to install garage doors on that garage in the 177.
Yeah, the doors that we have out there right now are pretty much gone, and we're gonna change it to an overhead door.
Yes. And would this be a single or a double, Daryl?
It would be just one single overhead door. But I think the picture that you've got looks like it's barn doors that open, but it's actually a garage door that opens one single door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on my page 8. There's a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
As long as the money holds out, that's the one I'm going with.
I know the feeling. Do I entertain any discussion on this?
Oh, it's basically just putting the door on page 8 into the space on page 10, correct?
That's true.
Yeah. It's around the other side, but oh, there, yes, 10, correct. Exactly. May I entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of COA 21-177. Motion is based on the following findings: the garage door is consistent with the door standards set forth in section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Second.
And Nick, was that a second?
Yes.
Okay, so I had a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so COA 21-177 is approved. Now let us look at 21-178, where Mr. Hawkins requests to repair the dormers on this property.
And Daryl, can you explain what you want to do with that, please?
Well, they're rotting. We have to, we're going to change it to the wood on the sides as well as on the face of it, but we're redoing the windows and leaving those.
Okay. So, and the window repair would, replacement would be the same, the 6/6 or the smaller one.
Well, they're 3/3. There's an upper and a lower.
Yes, sure.
And the lowers have been taken out right now to be repaired, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. And then in your picture, the one dormer is more like 12-inch. We weren't sure what the material was. Is you had said you were going to go to the 4-inch, like the longer dormer?
in the poplar siding, that's correct, yes.
Okay, okay, very good. May I entertain a motion on this or further questions?
What is the material on there now, Daryl?
Well, we've taken a couple of them down because we were replacing seals and it's metal. And we had a lot of problems in behind it. We weren't able to save it. So there's not any way that I can keep that metal that's on there now.
Okay.
Any further questions?
I'm moved to recommend approval of COA 21-178 with the following conditions. The dormer repairs are consistent with the standards set forth in Section 4 of the Historic Review Manual, Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so that COA has passed. The last COA for this property, COA 21-179 for landscaping. Did anyone have any questions to ask on this? If not, it was pretty detailed. I would entertain a motion.
Well, can I say one thing?
Certainly.
Yes, please.
It's not in full detail. And I don't know if Nick is going to draw up some more adding on to it later. And I would like to have permission just to come to the show to get her approval on that.
Okay. Right, and since it's landscaping, Richey, I think that's good for you to do. Is that possible?
That's perfectly fine, yes.
Okay, good. So that's a condition we can add when that is mentioned. So,
Okay,
I'd like to make, yes, thank you.
I will move to recommend approval of 21-179 with the following conditions. The landscaping is consistent with landscaping standards set forth in Section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual, and that any changes or additions will be approved, staff approved.
Second.
Very good. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Daryl, and we'll talk to you in the future, hopefully next month on that brick.
Thank you,
Who
ma'am.
seconded that?
Josh.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So the next 5 COAs, we're going to be talking with Reggie Mudd, who is the owner for 106 and 108 West Flagey. COA 21-180 is the first.
180?
Yes, 180. And this is to paint the exterior of the buildings. And guys, this is one of the areas where if you don't have an objection, because the paint colors were also within the scope, we're allowed to just go right ahead and motion for its make it a motion.
Reggie, I just want to make a quick clarification. You're not painting the brick, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah, just the wood part of it.
great.
What has been painted, it's been 20 years, but
Yeah.
it's still the wooden part. Yes.
Is this going to be the same color?
No,
No.
the samples are at the end of our,
Oh, okay. I haven't
There-
gotten it.
Yeah.
3 or 4 colors. Page 10, the brown, which is iced mocha. Then we have a gray for the masonry and black for the little windows up the top and a tan.
We tried to complement the brick in the other buildings on the street, so.
Mhm. Yeah, they appear to be able to complement it quite well. May I entertain a motion? And Susan, I'm not allowed to make motions. That's, this
Oh,
is,
I know that. Yes,
Okay.
I know that.
okay, very good.
All right, I'll help you out. I move to recommend approval of COA 21-180 with the following, based on the following conditions, or based on the following findings. The paint colors are consistent with the paint standards set forth in Section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second the motion.
So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so a COA has been passed. Let us now look at the 21-181. The owners would like to add landscaping in the raised bed in front of the property.
These are very small shrubs, but it needs some color there, and that's the intent. I think they'll grow to a maximum of 2 feet, but they'll fill it in and give it color. Excuse me.
And the little bit of hanging plant that'll grow there, I think will add some to it also.
Yes.
Do we have the sketched in drawing is page 10 on our notes, if you hadn't seen that previously? May I entertain a motion?
I'll move to recommend approval of 21-181 with the following, based upon the following findings. The landscaping is consistent with the landscaping standards set forth in Section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So that COA 21-181 is now accepted. Let us look at 21-182, where the owners request replacing the current wall lamps on the property and have shown us the new look that they have suggested. Does anyone have any questions regarding this? If not, we can entertain a motion.
I'm blurred out.
Yeah, page 10, I thought they looked, I think the size, like you say, will be more appropriate for the front of the building, and it's an attractive lamp.
Okay,
Someone?
I move to recommend, I'm sorry, are you wanting to discuss more?
Oh, no, go ahead. I was looking for the number to move it myself.
I move to recommend approval of 21-182, based upon the following findings. The wall lamps are consistent with lighting standards set forth in Section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
Yeah.
So we have made a motion and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So COA 21-182 is approved. Now looking at COA 21-183, replace the front awning to the property. Again, on this, the owners are going with a solid color that complements the brick. If there are no questions, I think we can move to make a motion.
I move.
It is a cloth, I'm sorry, it is a cloth material, isn't it, Reggie?
Yes, yes. And again, we're trying to match the brick.
Okay.
And it's not scalloped, and it will be high enough. I think it's required to be 7 feet or something like that. And it will be that high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sketch was good. Suzanne?
I move to recommend approval of COA 21-183, based upon the following findings. The awning is consistent with the awning standards set forth in Section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second that.
Okay, Susan seconds that. The COA has been approved and seconded. And all in favor?
Aye.
So let us look at COA 21-184. This is a different awning. The owner requests to install an awning to the property at the back of the property for apartment number 5. There is a picture or, a put together picture of it's kind of like a plexiglass awning. Page 9 and page 10.
So what is this made of, actually?
It's aluminum and fiberglass. It's a clear awning. We've used them in other places. We think it fits the period when the building was built. And it's really there for a practical matter because the back of the building is pretty clean, and also there needs to be some protection from the weather.
Got it. So there's 2 problems with this one, you guys and Reggie. AW1, use awnings only upon determination by physical or photographic evidence that they were originally included in the design of the residence. Do you have any proof that there was an awning there before?
No, I'm sure there probably wasn't. So.
Okay. And then, so AW6, it also states install awnings made of weatherproofed canvas of a traditional form. Fiberglass, metal, plastic, and battlick awnings that have contemporary shapes are inappropriate and visibly intrusive.
Then we're okay not having approved. So
Yeah.
I think we struck out. So we'll thank you all. Okay.
And you're very aware that these all become official after the city council blesses on Tuesday.
Right.
We would still need a
Very
motion
much for hanging in there with us.
but we would still need a motion to deny this.
Excuse me. Yes, of course.
I make the motion to recommend denial of COA 21-184 based on the finding that the awnings are not consistent with the awning standards set forth in section 4 of the Bardstown Historic Design Review Manual.
I'll second the motion.
So we have motioned and seconded to deny this COA. All in favor? Okay. Now we've officially closed that one. So, Rashay, do we have more new business?
Oh, we were supposed to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reggie.
Yeah, thank you all. Okay.
Thank you. So we were just supposed to discuss election of officers. I know that it states for you, Pat, to act in the capacity of chairperson until the expired term, but I'm just going to review that with the city attorney and just make sure that we don't need to rehold elections because of that. But is there anyone that's interested in the chairman position? Okay. Just checking.
Is there a need for or a desire for like a junior in case there's someone who's not like Pat is not available? I mean,
like I was.
Yes. So I guess we do need to go ahead and let's try to hold elections, and I'll just check with the city attorney and make sure this is appropriate, because the 3 posts of officers are chairman, vice chairman, and secretary, and Josh is secretary.
I wish to retain my position, please. Thank you.
Okay. So he wants to remain
You're
with
copping
that.
out, Josh.
Yeah, yes.
I just came on, so there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would need, so we would need to elect chairman, I guess, and vice chairman.
Well, this is only my second rodeo, so there's no way.
Yeah. And I'm willing to stay in the chairman position if someone else does not desire it. It's fine with me, but see what our lawyer has to say on those lines.
Okay.
and I'm happy to back cleanup, but
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just, I'll double check with the city attorney, but let's go ahead and hold the position and vote for chairman, for Pat being chairman of the board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then vice chairman as Suzanne Hayden,
Aye.
right, Suzanne, is
Aye.
that what? Yes, okay, I was just making sure. I was like, Suzanne, I did hear you
I
right,
know we
right?
were waiting until you got the legal, okay, but sure, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm happy to help.
Okay, all in favor for Suzanne Hayden being vice chairman?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Okay, so that'll be how it stands for right now then.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. And
And
that's
then
everything.
And the next meeting is October 19th.
That's correct.
So we can, I believe now it's time to close the meeting at 7:29. Yes.
Do we have, so I've been wanting to bring it up, do we have a new business section?
Yeah, right
Where we
where
can
we are.
discuss stuff. I mean, I don't want to take any action or anything, but we do need to get 509 North Third on our radar.
And I am, yes, Nick, and I'm working with Logan Spalding and my code enforcement officer on that.
Okay, all right.
And
I
what
mean, I didn't know if that need to be something officially done or by us or not. But, so that's underway is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
And just as a point of clarification from my training, when we finish with the COAs, then I need to say new business
Okay,
and step through the new business, old business before I get to adjournment. That was my fault. I'm sorry.
I think that's everything then, you guys. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Thanks.
good
Oh,
night.
motion to adjourn. Wait, motion to adjourn in a second.
Oh, that's
I'll make
right.
that. I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, got-
Okay. Motion, all in favor?